What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again, always with another one. And yes, indeed, it is another one. So we have a pretty much a sad situation here. You see the title of the broadcast and things like that. So this daycare owner or ex-daycare owner obviously was trafficking fentanyl throughout the daycare, and this happened a year ago. And I'm gonna play the year ago report, and then I'm gonna catch you up to date. So yeah, they're finally sentencing her, and yeah, she's getting 45 years and things like that for the death of a young child while on her watch at her alleged daycare that she was running, and also moving illegal narcotics through. And this is part of that fentanyl situation to where we're trying to get this crap out of our country. So let's go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
Tonight, there's disturbing new information about the suspected fentanyl exposure of 4 young children at a daycare center in New York City. Sources tell CBS New York that the daycare was a drug front. Police revealing tonight that the fentanyl was found under a mat where the children had been napping. CBS's Jessica Moore has the update from the Bronx.
Tonight, as 1-year-old Nicholas Domenici's parents grieve, sources tell CBS New York daycare owner Gray Mendez called her husband before calling 911 to get help for the children who were unresponsive. Police saying just moments ago, all 3 children hospitalized had fentanyl in their systems.
We're all parents, and you cannot be a parent and not be angry at what happened to those 4 babies. I am.
Sources tell CBS New York Mendez's husband was seen on video appearing to throw out drugs before first responders arrived on scene. Police say a kilo of fentanyl and drug-making equipment was found inside the daycare. Mendez.
That's crazy. A whole kit up in the daycare with all them children. Man, these people are ratchet out here, man. And then, you know, we're wondering why society's crashing when people are doing this type of disrespectful stuff around our children.
And her husband's cousin, Carlisto Acevedo Brito, who rented a room at the rear of the daycare, were both arrested on Saturday night and charged with murder, showing depraved indifference. In addition to 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a child, criminal possession of drugs, and 16 counts of assault. Mendez's attorney said she didn't know about the drugs.
She rented a room to somebody and she didn't know what was going on.
Tonight, all 3 of the hospitalized children, 2 2-year-olds and the 8-month-old sister of one of them, are listed in stable condition. Domenici had only been attending Divino Niño daycare for a week. His parents say he would have turned 2 in November.
No podemos. ¿Qué vamos a hacer?
The feds are now investigating this case. This daycare was licensed by the city and even recently passed a surprise inspection by the Office of Children and Family Services. When we reached out to
they couldn't have been searching that hard for that.
Then they called the incident horrific, but declined further comment. Nora?
How did they pass that inspection? Jessica Moore, that's a key question.
Yeah, that's a key question. So listen, look, man, this is wild right here. How did they pass that inspection back then and stuff like that? And, you know, Jesus, man, a whole thing of fentanyl. These people are wild out here, man. These are straight cowboy actions. All right, so we're about to go here now. And yeah, this is a recent update. We got more going on.
More than a year now since 1-year-old Nicholas Domenici died from ingesting fentanyl at a Bronx daycare. Today, a federal judge sentenced one of the owners to decades behind bars. Investigative reporter Tim McNicholas has followed this case from the beginning and was inside the courtroom.
Today's hour-long hearing was emotional. The daycare owner and the little boy's mom both broke down crying in court. And then the boy's parents spoke outside the courthouse this afternoon. The heartbroken parents of Nicholas Domenici, who was just a year old when he died, say they wanted a sentence of life in prison. His mother says this is the worst nightmare for any mother, to lose your son and the place she left him to be cared for while she was trying to make a living. The owner of the daycare, Gray Mendez, broke down in tears in court as she apologized to the parents and said in Spanish, "My only mistake was in trusting people who were close to me." Her attorney argued that she was not the boss of the drug operation being run from the daycare. Her husband, Felix Herrera Garcia, was. and she asked the judge and prosecutors to, quote, please have some pity on me.
Okay, so she did know. Now, first, y'all saw in the first segment that the attorney was like, well, she didn't know what was going on, you know. She had no clue. She's just an innocent lady trying to run a daycare. And then they also passed the doggone inspection for the daycare. How is this possible, bro? How is all that? Man, come on.
But Judge Jed Rakoff ultimately gave Mendez the same sentence he gave her husband last year, 45 years in prison. Prosecutors said he fled through the back alley of the daycare with several bags after 4 children were exposed to fentanyl in September of 2023. After the overdoses, police said they found 3 kilo presses and more than 2 pounds of fentanyl at the daycare, including a trap door with a secret compartment.
Look at all that shit there. Man, you got to be kidding me. At a daycare, though. Jesus, man. I mean, this is sad, bro. Man, y'all watch who y'all taking y'all children to out there.
Containing more than 5 kilograms of fentanyl and other drugs. Prosecutors argued that Mendez should have done more to try to save the kids and instead lied to first responders and did not use the Narcan she had at the daycare. In response to Mendez's attorneys highlighting abuse and trauma she had suffered throughout her own life, the judge said it is a mitigating factor, but it only goes so far. Mendez said Monday, it was an accident, and I hope that someday I will be forgiven. Dominici's mother said, quote, let God forgive her. My son won't return with I'm sorry. Now that
Stop it. Ooh. Mom said, screw that shit. Mom said, screw it. No, you ain't. I ain't worried about forgiving you, baby. You know, and I mean, come on now. These people knew what they were doing. They were trafficking illegal narcotics through a daycare. Not only that, fentanyl is one of the most potent and powerful drugs on the street right now. It's highly toxic. And these people, I'm surprised they didn't get sick off that stuff too. This is crazy.
Mendez has been sentenced in federal court. The Bronx District Attorney's Office says they will proceed with their own cases against Mendez, her husband, and his cousin. Dominici's parents say they are hoping that those cases can result in stronger sentences than the federal cases. Christine?
All right. So, you know what I'm saying? Listen, look. Here we go. Jesus, man. These people, yeah, they need life, though. They needed to get life. Sorry, but, you know, throw their ass up under the jail.
They trusted their son would be kept safe at daycare. Instead, he died after ingesting fentanyl. Today, the owner of that daycare in the Bronx was sentenced to 45 years behind bars. And Jennifer Bisram reports on the emotional day in court.
This is a resounding victory for law enforcement and for all of these families that are fighting this fentanyl crisis.
Frank Tarantino, DEA New York's a special agent in charge Monday night after a federal judge sentenced a Bronx daycare owner, Gray Mendez, to 45 years in prison for possessing and conspiring to distribute narcotics and exposing 4 children to fentanyl, including 1-year-old Nicholas Dominici, who died after ingesting the lethal drug. Police said they found more than 2 pounds of fentanyl at the daycare, including a trapdoor with a secret compartment.
They were storing the drugs right underneath the play mats in the daycare, using different utensils to mix up the drugs, but also to make their lunches. This is completely irresponsible and reckless.
So they was mixing drugs with the same utensils that they was making these babies' lunches with. Come on.
What the French toast is there to think about?
Man, Jesus. And then she want to get in court. Oh, I had a bad childhood. That. You grown now, baby. Fix your trauma. You grown now. Man, see, that's what I'm talking about, man. These idiots out here. And then there's somebody somewhere saying, well, she went through things when she was young. Yeah, we all go through something on this planet. That don't mean you got to take it out on innocent children when you grown.
reckless, and this person deserves the 45 years that they got today.
Mendez apologized to Dominici's parents in the courtroom and asked the judge and prosecutors to, quote, please have some pity on me. Outside of the courthouse, Dominici's mother in tears said in Spanish, let God forgive her. My son won't return with, I'm sorry. The tragedy in September of 2023 prompted safety concerns at daycare centers at private residences. CBS News New York shed a light on loopholes in inspection protocols. A spokesperson for Child Care Aware, an organization that works to ensure kids have safe, quality, and affordable care, says the sentencing is an important step, reassuring the health and safety for all students in New York City.
You should never bring your kids to the daycare, drop them off, and then receive that phone call. That's just a tragedy that no parent should ever have to face.
Mendez's husband and co-owner of the daycare, Felix Herrera Garcia, was also sentenced to 45 years last year. Jennifer Bisram, CBS News, New York.
All right. It is what it is at that point, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm gonna take the baby off the screen. But this is horrible right here. This is a very tragic situation. We saw what the DEA had to say. We saw other people, what they had to say, things like that. The mom is truly pissed off. I trust me, I get it. You know, she got every right to be, you know, things like that. But, you know, it's just sad to see that hardworking people can't even carry their children to a place to where the children are supposed to be just ultimately safe without any hurt, harm, or danger that's supposed to ever come towards them in that type of way or manner. And, you know, children end up getting sick from illegal substances that shouldn't be in a daycare in the first place out here. This is wild.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
This is wild. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.